Freestyle Travel. Hey everybody, Kenny Flannery here, as always your host of this Freestyle Travel show. And this episode I'm going to tell you about getting from the Midwest out here to where I sit right now, which is in Wyoming, drinking one of my favorite beers, a 2x4 double IPA from Melvin Brewery here in Alpine, Wyoming. It is delicious. Always good times drinking this beer. So yeah, I want to tell you about, I think last episode I had Liz Stewart on there in Sioux City, Iowa. So I'll tell you about getting across. Involves going to Minnesota and then catching a couple really long unexpected rides that got me out to Montana and eventually got me here. But I want to, at the top of the episode here, tell you about the Trip Hopping Collective that is now official. Some of you guys might be interested. Some of you guys might want to come join or just drop in. So the collective is going to be in Phoenix, pretty much October 1st to October 31st, just all of October. In Phoenix, we'll be at my buddy Larry's house working on trip hopping. So this is sort of an open invite to anybody listening to reach out and come drop in. So if you haven't listened to this show before, Trip Hopping is the app that I created. It's a travel app. It is for rideshare. It's for hitchhiking. It's for couch surfing. It's all things travel, for meetups. It's basically a Swiss Army knife travel tool, a little map in the pocket just to show you everything. Kind of just links all the different little travel tools that I've used over the years and makes them all really accessible and fills in the void where stuff isn't so great. For example, rideshare in Europe is pretty good. BlaBlaCar is the name of a really good rideshare service over there, but the US really has nothing. So Trip Hopping is trying to fill that in and also get some meetups going again and a bunch of stuff. So I've been plugging away at it for the last almost 2 years. It's actually an idea I came up with back in 2007 when I first started traveling and started building it, and had it going on for a little while and then just kind of lost interest and actually just traveling too much. So didn't have time to stay at it. So kind of went dormant and now it's back. But yeah, this collective, so the idea is that we're going to be at my buddy Larry's house and just focusing on the project. Let me take a sip of beer here. So this collective thing is an idea I got from couch surfing back in the day, couchsurfing.com, before they had offices, before they went down some weird roads and kind of screwed up. They used to do these collectives where they would rent a house or otherwise take over a house somewhere in the world for a few weeks to a few months, I think even 6 months one time. And yeah, just a core team would kind of be there working on it, and they'd have volunteers come in for a week or for a month or so. And that's how I met a bunch of those guys at couchsurfing. I applied to go to one of the collectives in Alaska, and they accepted my application. At the time I was working on the original trip hopping. So I was like, hey, I'm obsessed with travel. I use couch surfing like every week and I can code. So yeah, that's why they accepted me. I hitchhiked up to Alaska and I met some people that are my best friends today. But it was just a cool environment. Just all these like travel minded people, some highly professional kind of people in their different fields. There wasn't just coders. There were like my friend Mandy, she was doing some of the PR stuff. There's another girl just working on getting grants. There was Rachel, who was just like the safety team lead. She was the one who'd get all their emails from people who had any problems on the site. There were a bunch of coders. There was artists. My friend Nick, who I'll get to later in this podcast because I saw him in Minneapolis. I first met him up there in Alaska, and he was just a cook, because when you have 10, 20 people all living in the house, it's kind of handy to have a dedicated person to cook. So that's what he was up to. So anyways, that always stuck with me, and that's what we'll be doing with trip hopping. I've actually done this a few times before in the early days, and then kind of had a dry run back in February in Phoenix. So this is my way of saying if you're interested in trip hopping, you do not have to be a coder. If you are, that's great. The site is written in Flutter and Dart. If you know anything about Firestore or Google Cloud Functions, that's awesome. You can definitely apply. But I think most of the people that are going to be coming, which could be you, are going to be designers, community builders, even people who want to do some just data entry and some research. Be super helpful. There's, you don't necessarily need to have skills. There's certain things that I can teach you how to do. It's just like some things just take time. But the idea is that you come out, hang out in Phoenix. There's only so many kind of spots for long-term people as far as, just beds available. But that's why I reach out. You can reach out any which way you want to find me, or just email me at kenflannery@triphopping.com. And it's going to be super fun. So we're going to be there living in the house, and just the three main goals are to get the iPhone app rolling, which is totally on me. Also, I want to open up the site so you can like do searches for rides and stuff like that without having to log in. That's also totally on me, pretty much. And the third big goal is to start getting meetups going on around the world. And there's going to be some design and stuff involved in that too. So we're going to be looking for people that want to like reach out to social people around the world, whether they used to be couchsurfing ambassadors or they're just embedded into their communities. It could, you could be finding people in Bangkok or Melbourne or Sydney or Fayetteville, Arkansas, like wherever. The goal was to just get some of these weekly and monthly trip hopping meetups going, and it can be couchsurfing meetups too. So you could come and just sort of identify where are the couchsurfing.com meetups happening around the world, and just kind of bookmark all of those. I think couchsurfing's picking back up again, even though the whole paywall debacle, which is a good thing. So just trying to identify like where are the weekly meetups. I think New York is back to having weekly meetups, and some other cities. So yeah, just basically like research like that is one of the tasks, and then design stuff too. So it should be super fun. Come hang out and we'll get a lot done. We'll have some fun. We're gonna have some like barbecues and potlucks at the house. Nice backyard. Invite some like old school couch surfers and other friendly Phoenix people in to come and hang out. So in between getting stuff done on the site, we're just going to be having a good time. My friend in Northern Arizona is having an event in the middle of October. Definitely be going to that. Maybe do like a little travel meetup at a brewery / book signing kind of thing. So should be a really fun month. I would love if anyone wants to come and help out. You don't have to come for the whole month if you don't have the time. If you want to drop in for a week and get some stuff done, that's awesome. Or if you just want to come drop in. Like I said, we're going to be having some little meetups and barbecues and stuff here and there. So if you can show up and, you don't have to do anything. If you just want to come in and see what we're up to and have a beer, come drop in for a night. Why not? And maybe you'll have some ideas anyways, or just want to see what we're doing. So that's what's going on. And like I said, the main qualification is just to be kind of like passionate about travel. There are things that can be done that literally like an 11-year-old could do, or at least a 13-year-old or something. So it's not necessary that you have the skills, but the skills that I would be looking for, again, any kind of designers, whether that's like UI, UX, user experience specific kind of stuff, or if you just or if you're just like an artist actually. And there's even some stuff that can be done with AI art. So you don't even necessarily have to be an artist if you just have an eye for it. I can teach you how to use AI image generation to get a few other things done that we're looking to do. Just basic stuff, just spruce up the app in different places, like have some cool artwork for different locations based on the type of location they are, that kind of thing, etc. So yeah, social people too for the community outreach thing. So yeah, I'm super excited for it. My buddy Larry is really excited for it, which is good to hear. he's getting pumped up, getting the place ready, and looking forward to throwing some events and stuff. There's a sewing machine there that I've used to make some of my bivy packs, and probably a decent amount of like technical fabric hanging out, little scraps and stuff. So if you want to come hang out and, I don't know, make something too while you're there too, could be cool. It should just be a really cool environment. So if you are in and around Arizona this October, this is me inviting you to reach out and drop in. So yeah, had trip hopping on the brain quite a bit lately. Been in Wyoming here for a minute, so I've gotten some stuff done on the site, just getting ready for the collective. So if you want to get on there to triphopping.com, you can use the site. If you have Android, you can use the app. And all you fucking iPhone people, get excited, because just a week ago, I finally got remote access to a Mac computer, which was the critical piece to be able to get the iPhone app out and running. So now, I mean, if I'm just getting specific, it's $99 a year to have an Apple app developer account. So literally, I'm just so broke, I can't afford the initial $99, but that will be remedied, and 100% there will be an iPhone app in the App Store by the end of October, if not way sooner. It's one of the goals of the collective, and it might get done before that. Just $99 and a couple days away. So, hell yeah. So that's what's up, and I'm going to take another swig of this delicious goddamn beer. And I really hope to see some of you guys there. Let me get into, the trip from Iowa to here, and then I'll tell you what's next between now and October. All right, let's do it. All right, trippity hoppity. So yeah, last episode I had Liz in her studio in Sioux City. I try to catch up with her periodically every year or so. So it was a good meetup with her. And the time came to get out of there, and my next stop was kind of backtracking. I'd mostly been heading west, so it was a slight backtrack east to Minneapolis to see my buddy Nick, who I mentioned earlier that I met in Alaska at the Couchsurfing Collective. He was back from a little trip to Ireland, so I wanted to drop in and see him. So started hitchhiking that way, and got like one or two short rides out of Sioux City, just out into the country. It wasn't like major highway, so I'm just walking on these like country corn roads, and this scooter stops and pulls into the shoulder like way ahead of me, and I'm running up to the scooter like, what the hell, dude? It's just this tiny little moped, and the dude's like, yeah, I'm going like just shy of Minneapolis, hop on. And I'm still 4 hours away. So in all my years of hitchhiking, I've definitely gotten rides from mopeds, like particularly in like Southeast Asia. It's pretty common to get these rides, but they're usually not too long, certainly not 4 hours. So I hopped on this thing like, all right, fucking here we go. Just getting windburned right away. And it's kind of like, luckily when I first got a ride on like a moped kind of scooter was, my early days of traveling, when my backpack was much bigger and heavier. And it's kind of a thing when you're on the back seat of a moped, like trying to hold up your backpack, and just like, it's a little strain on the back and the abs, you kind of gotta like switch positions a little bit, kind of get used to it. So anyways, I'm just racing down the highway with this guy. Bugs are exploding off of my head. Like I go to wipe off the bug and there's nothing to wipe off. They've just like exploded, and these shrapnel pieces gone everywhere. I'm like, oh, god damn. We stopped for gas a couple times, which is like a bit of a relief. And then, maybe 2 hours into it, he just pulls off a random spot, no gas, and he's just like, I just had to stretch. And at that point, like, I had already been thinking about like bailing out on the ride, and he's like, yeah, it's like the suspension's a little different with this much more weight on there. And I was like, man, dude, if you're struggling too, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to get another ride anyways, because he wasn't going like all the way to Minneapolis. So I'm like, if I'm gonna have to get another ride, I'll just do it now. And he's like, all right. It's probably better for both of us. So that's what I did. Oh, we got crop dusted along the way. So I told you I was going through fields of corn, and I saw like some of these little crop duster planes like doing loops and little tricks and stuff. It looked like they were having fun, a couple of them. Then we were coming up on another one. I saw him doing the same thing, but I guess it was just his maneuver, and he dived way down, like right above the corn, like, you know, just like a few yards above the corn, and just releasing the gas, or not the gas, like whatever they're throwing on, pesticide, or I don't know exactly what. It's probably different every time, on the corn. And I'm seeing it cutting across the field as we're coming up on it perpendicular, and then boom, he just blasted us too. He gave us one little last gas of this cloud of crop dusting. We just blew through. So I got properly crop dusted. And not just like in the kind of way when someone walks by on the airplane. A true crop dusting. So fucking A. But yeah, so I was kind of happy to get off of that ride. It was a good day. It wasn't like way too hot or anything like that, but it was definitely getting like still sunburned and windburned going down on that thing. Started getting some different rides, and one ride I got, we ended up catching up like 2 hours later to that guy. And we passed him, so I stuck my head out the window like, what's up? Like 2 hours later. It's kind of funny. I'm not even sure if he saw it was me, because I barely stuck my head out the passenger window, and I don't know. But fucking funny. And then yeah, finally got a ride from this cool artist guy who dropped me off right at Nick's house. So super convenient. Another sip of beer here. I spent a few days or so, shy of a week, hanging out with Nick and his wife and kids, and meeting some of their friends, and just running around town and catching up, hearing about his trip to Ireland. Always a good catch up. Happy Gilmore 2 came out. Weird movie. Yeah. It's Happy Gilmore though. Can't complain too much. Yeah, and hung out with him, and then I was like, all right, well, time to go. I'm gonna keep on heading west, as I've been doing all summer, just pointing west. And yeah, things sort of accelerated pretty quickly. So I actually rode with him and his wife like an hour or two south, because they were going to see her mom. So they got me to Interstate 90, I believe, and got going. I got a ride real quick. Got another ride real quick. Some guy who works in the corn industry, go figure. Another guy gave me a beer. It was just started off as like pretty easy stuff, and then that was like 5 rides in, just like one after another, easy stuff. Some guy gave me $60, like fucking awesome. Took that, because I've been like extra broke lately, so $60 was a huge win. That's several beers. And then this guy picked me up and said he was coming from Ohio, and then he was going all the way to basically Seattle. So I was like, well, fuck, let's fucking go. So I was getting along with that dude, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just ride all the way to Montana. Like, I got no real reason to stop anywhere here in South Dakota, and fuck, if you're going all the way, let's go. So yeah, I rode with him for hours and hours, and just cruising. And I kind of knew there's no way this guy was going to drive through the night. I mean, it's a long ass drive all the way to Seattle, and he'd already been driving a lot. So I was already kind of in the back of my mind, like, you know, nothing's guaranteed. I wonder how this is going to go. And sure enough, once it was like dark and late, and there'd been a little break in the conversation, because we had, you know, we were getting along pretty good. We talked for good 5 or 6 hours, like straight, like no pauses or anything. So finally we were on a break from chatting, just listening to music, and it was dark. And then we hit Wall, South Dakota, and he pulled in. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go find a place to crash, so this is as far as I can take you. So, I mean, I'd kind of anticipated something like that might happen. I was a little bit bummed, but I kind of got it. Maybe he was going to get a hotel room, didn't want me in there. Maybe he was going to sleep in the car and just whatever. I get it. But I was like, ah, damn. So now I'm in Wall, South Dakota. And he dropped me off like, past the time where any bars would be open or anything like that, where I could fool around and see what might happen. So luckily, I don't know if you've ever driven through that part of the country, but it's pretty desolate, not all forest or anything. I managed to find like 2 trees off the side of the highway that I could duck into and just get out of the wind and out of sight of people come morning. So I camped there in my nice little nestled spot. Drank a beer that a guy had given me earlier, which I'm going to make me take a sip of beer right now. So bivvied out, got up in the morning, started walking on the road, got a ride real quick from a guy who's going to Rapid City. So that was pretty cool, just to get a ride quick in the morning, little sunrise ride, and then kind of walked across Rapid City. And then I got a ride from a guy going yet again like super damn far. he was going all the way to western Montana, and he wanted to get there. So I was like, all right, well, plan Bozeman back on track. So I'm like, all right, I'll ride with this dude as far as Bozeman, Montana. That's like the next spot that makes any sense. So I rode with that dude, like, felt like all day, but it wasn't, I don't know, it was like 6, 7, 8 hours. I can't remember. I was with that guy for a while. Super good conversation again. And that dude dropped me off right in downtown Bozeman. And at that point, I have an uncle who lives, or ex-uncle, whatever, family dynamics. Let's just call him an uncle for brevity, living in, or I thought around there. So once I knew for sure I was going to be getting there, I messaged him. I'm like, hey, kind of out of the blue, but pour some beer here. But I'll be in Bozeman. What's up? So he's like, hell yeah, I'm around. And same deal as always. This happened a couple times in Bozeman, 2 or 3 times, where he's got like a barn, like a property in town, like a house that he usually rents out. In the backyard, there's like a barn. He's let me like crash in there sometimes, and he lives like 15 minutes out of town, over in Belgrade with his girlfriend. So usually when I've come to town, he's let me like stay there in the barn and usually catch up for a beer or something. He's like, yeah, but now your cousin is renting that house, so you can like, the barn's kind of full, but you can crash in the backyard, and I'm sure she'll want to catch up with you. So that's kind of what went down. So went there and ended up hanging out in Bozeman for, I don't know, a few days, shy of a week. I was hanging out with him, catching up with my cousin and her boyfriend there. I camped out in the backyard the first night, but then he cleared out, there's a camper van just kind of sitting back there too. He cleared that out for me, so I had a little palace to sleep in, and a place to shower and friendly faces to catch up with. I got to Mountains Walking and Map Brewery with them. If you watch the hopping show I did on YouTube, youtube.com/hopping. One of the episodes I filmed there in Bozeman and filmed at Mountains Walking and Map Brewery. So both really, really good spots. So was happy to be able to hit up both of those spots. And yeah, just kind of pop around Bozeman. It's sort of a chill town. It's getting gentrified pretty hard. Just kind of becoming one of those richy little towns bit by bit, but it's not all the way there yet, so you can still have a good time there for some years to come. Just a good little town. So hung out there, and then my uncle, he was going to be driving down to Jackson, and I'd kind of been debating like messing around in Montana a little bit more or going to Jackson, because that's where some more family lives. Not right in Jackson, but south of there. And yeah, he kind of made that decision a little bit easier for me because he was just making the drive down there. So rode with him, and then hitchhiked an extra hour down the road from the Jackson area. Maybe 3 rides to hitching around Jackson, Wyoming, Montana. It's all easy. And got on down to Alpine, and yeah, that's where my mom lives and her new husband. I guess my stepdad. I've had a few dads over the years. So it lives down in Alpine. So that's where I have been. I've been bouncing between Alpine and then up up to Jackson. She works at a campground up there as a camp ambassador. Just make sure that people pick up their mess and put their fires out. It's like kind of wild camping up there. There's it's all free. Bunch of spots that just have a fire ring, and that's it. So anyone can drive up there and camp. It's got to be aware of whether there's a fire ban or not. And yeah, so she is up there part-time, living in their camper. They got Starlink up there. It's pretty sweet. So super fast internet, looking over at the Teton mountain range. It's fucking awesome. Super incredible place to be. Real peaceful. They're decked out with solar and everything else. So it's beautiful, but also comfortable. Slept on the couch there in their little camper they keep up there. They're pretty much there until October, so an extended summer they spend up there. So it's been good. So I've been bouncing between there and the house in Alpine. Alpine is home of Melvin Brewery, which is the beer that I'm drinking. This 2x4. Take another sip here. So we popped in there a few times since I've been here, just to get a little grub and some different beers. Melvin also opened up the dojo in downtown Jackson, right on the square. If you've ever been to Jackson, Wyoming, maybe you've seen Roadhouse. If you're into beer, definitely if you've been here in the last 10 years, you've seen Roadhouse and you're into beer. There's no reason you wouldn't have gone there. So now in the last, I think just months, it's been, the Melvin Dojo opened like downstairs kind of. So another good spot to have. They used to have, Melvin started out of a Thai restaurant in Jackson called Tie Me Up. And then they started winning gold medals and they got $1 million grant from the state to open up this brewery in Alpine. And the Thai restaurant actually shut down a year or two ago. But it's nice that they have this little dojo. Vibes aren't as chill as the Thai restaurant, but the beer is good. So there you go. So that's what's been going on. Been getting a shit ton done on trip hopping. So some of those updates are pushed. Actually, most of those updates are pushed. So you can check that out. The improvements since the last update. I got recurring events going on in anticipation for the collective and trying to instigate all these weekly and monthly events in different places. I made that a feature, so that's easy to set up. So even if you can't come to the collective, think about just getting a meetup started. It's super easy now. You can just set up a weekly or monthly. So did that. I got a better source for places going on now. So if you fill out your preferences and stuff, whenever you go to the explore page, besides seeing what locals and travelers are nearby, you'll also see like places like the Melvin Dojo if you're into beer. And now I'm getting that information from Foursquare, which is real up to date, much better than the last source I was using. So yeah, you'll just see more up to date places, whether it's breweries or rivers or kayak rentals or whatever kind of stuff you're into. That's what's going to show up by default. And in a lot of cases, there'll even be links to these businesses' websites and social media and stuff like that. So anyways, that is way better on the site. A bunch of design stuff, design flow stuff is good. Yeah, it's kind of nice when I got a little chill spot to chill and be a little productive, whether it's across from the Tetons in a little camper or down close to Melvin Brewery here in Alpine. Alpine is the shit. Pretty cool little town. It's growing, definitely growing. So yeah, that's what I have been up to. And yeah, let me jump into the outro and tell you what is next. There's a bunch coming up. All right, so yeah, I'm on my second to last night here in Wyoming. It's been a good run, catching up with my mom and whatnot. Always good, and even my uncle, my cousin, yeah, everybody. It's been cool, but time to get it moving. So the day after tomorrow, I'm going to hitchhike out of here towards Salt Lake City, for sure. I got a buddy down there I got in touch with. Always excited to go chill out with him, and I think I'm going to dog sit for him. I don't know exactly. Him and his girlfriend are going somewhere for Labor Day weekend or something. So he asked if I'd be interested in dog sitting. And I said, yeah, sure. Why not? I'm going to be down there anyways. So yeah, sounds like if that's the case, I'll be there for about a week, at least a week, between hanging out with him and watching the dog while he's out of town. So should be cool. That's going to put me into September, T-minus 1 month from the collective mentioned in October. So I don't know exactly my path from there to Phoenix. Obviously, it's not going to be direct. If I wanted to hitchhike to Phoenix from Salt Lake, I could do it in 2 days. Salt Lake to Vegas, that's a 1-day hitchhike, which I've done a dozen times or more. And Salt Lake to Phoenix is also a 1-day hitchhike I've done at least a dozen times or more, way more. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. So most likely from Salt Lake, I'll probably head out to California, kind of make the rounds out there, see some friends if I can, see some different spots. That's kind of my thought. And yeah, probably can't help myself from doing some coding here and there, gearing up for the collective, trying to get a bunch of stuff done in anticipation for that. So yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. Getting excited for that. Just to reiterate, if any of you guys are interested, and I guess I didn't say it in the beginning, but even if you can't make it to Phoenix and you're just interested, just reach out, because we'll probably have like some video calls or something, maybe even weekly or whatever, and just kind of whoever's interested, just kind of keep people up to date with what we're doing. And a lot of the stuff we're doing, you don't have to be there in person. It's going to be way more fun, obviously, to be hanging out. We'll be feeding anyone who's there, of course. You'll have a place to sleep, that kind of thing. But yeah, if you're just like interested in helping out, you know, all this stuff can just be done on a computer or whatever. So reach out and be a part of it. And, you know, we'll have some like little virtual meetups and talk about what needs to be done and see if you're into it. And then, yeah, I'm pretty excited. The idea is just to make it like real fun to travel, like kind of like how it used to be on couch surfing, but you know, 5 times better if possible. And what I mean by that is the meetups I think are like so important. And there's been so many times where I've just been like in Galway, Ireland, you know, didn't know I was going to be there that day. Didn't look up to find a couch surfer, and it just happened to be Tuesday, you know, and Tuesday was their weekly meetup. And so many cities around the world had that, where they just had these weekly meetups, and it'd be every, let's just say Tuesday at 6 p.m. at this pub, you know, and you'd go there, and sometimes there'd be 3 people, and sometimes there'd be like 100 in the case of New York City, you know, and it was just pretty fun to know that was going on. And then a little collateral couch surfing effect too. There's been several times. I remember one time with a girlfriend hitchhiking, we wound up in San Diego sort of unexpectedly, and just happened to be the day of the week where their meetup was. I actually can't remember if it was their weekly meetup or if it was just an impromptu one-off. But anyways, we went to it. It was at a brewery. Ended up being like 15, 20 people there. And within like 30 minutes, one of the local girls who showed up was like, yeah, you guys can couch surf with me. So not only did we have fun drinking some beers with a bunch of locals and travelers, but we also secured a place to stay for the night. So super cool. So I'm just trying to like get more of that going on. It'd be pretty cool if we could all just be traveling, and which is fun already, but then just have this extra aspect of, you know, these little sort of local / global communities. Like, I don't know, it's just so cool to drop in on these things where these like, you know, someone backpacking for the first time from Switzerland, like having the 1 3-month trip that they're ever going to have in their whole life, and they're there. And then there's also like a bunch of people that are just like used to hosting travelers who live there. It's freaking cool, trying to bring it all back. That's like the main objective, and a bunch of other stuff that's going to be getting done. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who shows up, if any of you guys want to show up, because I'm sure there's things that are going to get done that I haven't even thought of yet. Just like some of you guys might come through with a particular idea or a particular skill, and just unleash you on some task and, you know, make trip hopping yours as well. So I'm super excited about it. That's why I'm babbling on about it. But yeah, that's what's up. I'm gonna drink these beers and yeah, get down to Salt Lake here in a day. So hope you guys are doing awesome. Once again, reach out, kenflannery@triphopping.com, or reach me on any of the social media junk if you're interested in anything, even if you're in Salt Lake or California this month. I'm always down to meet up. That's it. Hope you guys are doing awesome, and I will see you down the road. With all my shit straight, I'll get my big break.